Hi everyone, and welcome to Truth Over News. Marjorie Taylor Greene held a press conference where she disclosed incredible details contained within the hidden FBI document pertaining to bribes paid to Joe Biden and his family. Greene revealed that the whistleblower said that Burisma had paid a $5 million bribe to Joe Biden and a $5 million bribe to Hunter Biden. Furthermore, Greene confirmed our long-standing position that the bribes were paid in order to shut down the Ukrainian prosecutor's investigation into Burisma. Now we know from Chuck Grassley that Burisma owner Mykola Zlochevsky, or his top advisor Vadym Pozharskyi, has recordings of phone calls between him and Biden as a sort of insurance policy. We've told you some of the Burisma story before, but we're going to dive into the period between the spring of 2014 and early 2016, starting when Hunter joined Burisma and ending when Shokin was fired. We think many of the new details may surprise you.
The owner of Burisma said that Hunter was stupid and that his other business partner was smart. He also said that he paid $5 million to one Biden and he paid $5 million to another Biden. And it was all a bribery to get Shokin fired and end the investigation into Burisma. But he did say that it would take 10 years for all of us to find out the payments made to the Bidens because of how many bank accounts there were. He told the informant that he has 2 pieces of evidence showing proof of payment to Hunter and specifically Joe Biden.
The press conference by Greene should have been huge news, covered by every single media outlet in the country. A document showing that a well-regarded FBI informant had personally confirmed that Joe Biden and his family had been paid directly by Burisma to end investigations into the company. Instead, the disclosures by Greene were almost completely ignored or disparaged by the corporate press. Later that same day, Biden was asked by a lone reporter about the corruption allegations during a press conference with the British Prime Minister, and he responded by asking, "Where's the money?" Biden appeared arrogant and unconcerned, perhaps because he felt he had no reason to be, because just a short time later, Trump was indicted by Biden's DOJ. When news of Trump's indictment broke, the allegations of Biden's bribery was completely subsumed by a new media circus surrounding Trump.
Bribery allegation. Congresswoman Nancy Mace says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to the congressional Republicans?
Where's the money? I'm joking.
Mr. President,
It's a bunch of malarkey.
But it's the revelations from Grassley that are truly jaw-dropping, with implications that go far beyond Burisma and include the unchecked aid sent to Ukraine. Grassley was one of the very few who had seen an unredacted version of the FBI's 1023 document and had been repeatedly pushing FBI Director Wray for transparency. He finally got fed up and revealed that according to the 1023, the foreign national, Zlochevsky or Pozharskyi, possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden, and 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. Grassley said these recordings were allegedly kept as sort of an insurance policy for the foreign national in case he got into a tight spot. In other words, a Ukrainian oligarch has actual Biden blackmail tapes.
The 1023 produced to the House committees redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings.
Biden was appointed as the Obama administration's point man on Ukraine in February 2014. During Joe's first visit to the country in April, Burisma announced that Hunter's business partner, Devon Archer, had joined their board. Hunter had also joined Burisma's board, but this wasn't announced until May 12th, after his father's visit to Ukraine had concluded. While Joe was meeting with the new Ukrainian government, Hunter and Archer were meeting with Burisma owner Zlochevsky, along with his close advisor, Vadym Pozharskyi, and Russian businesswoman Elena Baturina in Italy's Lake Como. Although we're still not entirely sure if there was one combined meeting or 2 separate meetings, this was nevertheless of great interest to us. Keep in mind that Burisma had wired Hunter's firm $3.5 million just 2 months earlier. And as we'll see in a bit, this isn't the only time these people would appear together. On May 12th, the same day that Hunter's appointment to Burisma's board was formally announced, Burisma advisor Vadym Pozharskyi sent an email to both Hunter and Archer disclosing that April 2014 meeting in Lake Como. Pozharskyi told both Hunter and Devin that we urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message or signal to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions. The politically motivated actions were actually ongoing investigations into Burisma and its owner Zlochevsky, who had been issued an unusually large number of permits to extract oil and gas during his time as Ukraine's Minister of Natural Resources. Indeed, UK authorities had just frozen $23.5 million in assets belonging to Zlochevsky as part of a money laundering investigation. And at precisely the same time that Hunter joined Burisma, Vitaly Arema, the Ukrainian prosecutor, opened a formal investigation into Zlochevsky and Burisma. Hunter and Archer must have been expecting the email from Pozharskyi because plans to represent Burisma's interests in Washington had already begun. On the same day of Pozharskyi's email, Heather King, a partner at Boies Schiller, sent an email to Hunter and Archer detailing her firm's strategy for Burisma. King wrote that she planned to provide legal and political services for Burisma right up to the line at which the law firm would have to disclose their work under federal lobbying laws. King also wrote of plans to meet with State Department officials in order to advocate for Burisma. As it turns out, Burisma had already wired $250,000 to Boies Schiller on May 7, 2014, according to a September 2020 Senate report. As the report notes, this was the earliest known payment from Burisma that was related to Hunter Biden. As all this was going on, 2 other important events took place. On May 21st, a week after Pozharskyi's email to Hunter, Joe Biden made a very curiously timed trip to Romania and the island of Cyprus, the first visit by a senior U.S. official in 50 years. We now know that Cyprus is where Burisma's headquarters just happened to be located. No real explanation has been given for that trip other than a White House statement that noted Biden's intention to provide strong support to reunify the island. Romania has a story of its own, which we'll likely cover next week. Meanwhile, 4 days later, on May 25th, Petro Poroshenko, a billionaire politician, was elected as president of Ukraine. Biden became close with Poroshenko and later helped obtain a huge 4-year, $17.5 billion IMF package in March 2015. As it turns out, Burisma may not have initially needed the Bidens to find a way out of their legal mess. According to a State Department email sent by George Kent, the deputy chief of mission in Kiev at the time, Burisma simply bribed their way out of the original investigation. Kent stated that he had been told by Ukraine's deputy prosecutor general that Burisma had paid a $7 million bribe to Ukraine's chief prosecutor's office to end the investigation into Zlochevsky.